BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me, it's the first time you're seeing my face. Hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you are not new to me, thank you for tuning in, the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. That's from October 2nd through October 8th and all my reading shenanigans in between. I don't have a lot to talk about this week, but what I do have to talk about was pretty interesting. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, let's get talking some books. Okay. So, like I said, I don't have a lot to talk about because this past week, I released a crap ton of videos. I think I released 5. I did a wrap up, a TBR, a review, a recommendations video, plus a third quarter wrap up. So I was flooding my channel with these videos this past week. So I had batch filmed a lot of them. And so I spent most of the week editing them. So that's what kind of ate up some of my reading time. So I only completed 2 books, and I am going to finish my third one tonight, pretty much right after I get done filming this. So not my best reading week, but still I had a lot of filming to do, and I will make sure to link all those videos down below. So if you haven't got a chance to check them out, they're going to be up there, easy access for you guys. I'm really happy about the review that I released this week. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it, so I'm really excited about that. My third quarter wrap-up stats looked really, really good, and I'm really excited about my October TBR plus my monthly wrap-up. So, and we also have a Witchy recommendations video, so if you want to go check that out, I will link that bad boy up here in the corner. So if you're looking for any witchy, spooky recs for this month, I've got some ones out there for you guys if you want to check some of them out. But that's what took up most of my week. So the rest of my week was spent reading, and I completed 2 books, and I'm finishing the third one, as I've already said. So let's get talking about them. The first book I completed was Predestined by Abbi Glines, and it looks like this. This is the second installment to the Existence series. I read the first installment last month, and I gave it 4 stars, and I gave this one 4 stars as well. This is another audiobook voiced by Ashley Litz. And in this book, we have death and minor sexual content for triggers. So not a very trigger-happy book. The only problem with talking about this book is because this is a direct sequel. And there was a major, major twist ending to the first book that does get resolved in this book. You learn about it, you learn the backstory, you get it all figured out. Problem is, I can't tell you a goddamn thing about it without ruining the whole fucking book and spoiling it for you. So, that is one of the negative things about talking about sequels in series, especially with big twist endings. But I can tell you that the resolution is pretty dope. The storyline is pretty fucking awesome. And the cool thing about this book is we do have a resolution to the whole story, except another element comes into play, allowing for the third installment, which I will be picking up soon, I hope. So yes, we do have a resolution, but then Abbi throws something out of left field again, and we're like, man, Death and Pagan cannot catch a motherfucking break, okay? They just can't catch one. They just can't. It just wham bam, it's all the time. It's all the time. But I mean, when you're in love with Death, what do you expect? I mean, seriously, what do you expect? So what worked in this book? The continuity. This picked up right where the first installment left off. I mean, literally the first installment has them walking into the school. This starts with them walking into the school. It picks up right there. Like it's like she wrote the whole series at the same time. She just chopped it at some point. Like that's what it really, really feels like. And that's really cool. I really enjoyed that. She also does give us subtle reminders throughout the book, but what she doesn't do, and I really am so appreciative of this, is she doesn't info dump. I'm sure you've all read a sequel where the author, who has spent some time between the books, the first couple chapters will just be info dumping and reminding you of what happened in the first book so you didn't forget it. Abbi Glines doesn't do that. Yes, she gives you bits and pieces in the beginning, but she stretches all the information you need throughout the entirety of the book. So I was still getting stuff reminding me back in book 1 at the tail end of this book. So I thought that was great. It showed great forethought, and it also helped tie in what will hopefully be the main storyline for the third book. So I really enjoyed that she didn't info dump on me, because that gets really irritating. It is a necessary evil, but this is proof that you don't need that info dump section, and I love it. The main plot to this installment really worked. I enjoyed it. It was definitely unique for me. I've never read a book with this element in it, and I can tell you that this element is perfect for the spooky season. It is legit perfect. This is, again, another paranormal romance, so it does follow those lines, but the main topic of discussion in this book is something I've never read before, and something that's very on the creepy, scary, unknown side, and it's really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. What didn't work? This book does come back to that love triangle that we had in the first book with Death, Pagan, and Leif. I did not like the feelings that I was getting towards Leif. I feel the character didn't warrant the behavior that was directed toward him by the main characters in this book at the fuck all. Did not warrant it. Not at all. So I felt for Leif a lot. I felt horrible for him, because he was literally stuck between a rock and a really fucking hard place. And he's that way through the entire of the book. So a lot of the pain and anguish that is seeped into this installment is directed at him, and I personally didn't feel like he warranted that much, especially when we start to learn more of his story. And so I didn't really enjoy that. I know you have to have a villain, but I don't think he was the villain. And I don't think Abbi conveyed that the right way to convince readers of that. If she wanted to make him the villain, she didn't convince me he's the villain. She convinced me that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. But Pagan and Death were just, it's like, can you cut the guy some fucking slack? Not his fault, okay? Not his fault. And they just didn't get it. Just didn't get it. So this book does have a resolution with this love triangle. We do have one. At least I think we do. I have not read the third one, so I don't know. Maybe there's some surprises. But it feels like there's a resolution to this triangle. But it was so easy to figure out. Like, the entirety of the book, Death is trying to work out how to fix this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we'll just do this. What? It was that fucking easy? Why did you not do that in the first place, dude? Really? Damn. Because they wouldn't have a story. But it felt too easy for me. Just too easy. And it didn't really fly with me. I would have liked a little bit more drama. I would have liked a little bit more, pain involved, because what Abbi did with this book is this is where I think she missed on this book. There's a lot of dark topics in this book. There's a lot. There's a couple of scenes that if you were a dark romance reader, you're reading and thinking, oh, shit's going down. Yes. Yes, we're getting the morally gray characters here. We're getting some super sexy fun times in not the most, cool ways, but we're all gonna be loving it anyway. Yeah, you see all these scenes set up, and that shit doesn't happen. At all. At all. So, as a dark romance reader, you are, trained. It is a physical feeling. You see the setups, and you're just like, oh my god, yes, we're doing this. Oh my god, no, whoa, we're not? You're weirded out by it? Well, fuck. So it was kind of a lady boner killer on that one. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I was like, damn, that sucks. Because the spice rating on this, I got a puff. We get a 1 heavy makeup session. 1. That's it. But there are so many areas where if Abbi wanted to kick up this spice rating, oh, us dark romance readers, we'd be all over this book. This one in particular, oh yeah, there's a lot of setup for it, but it just doesn't, she kept it sweet. She kept it young, but the topics she was using were not that. And I feel kind of annoyed that I was denied the super sexy, dark fun times. I was denied. I feel a little denied. Not gonna lie about it. I do. But I still gave this 4 stars, and I do plan on continuing with the rest of the series very, very soon. I want to see how it resolves. So, yeah. The next book I completed, and this is because it was a really super short audiobook, and I wanted to at least have another book to talk about with you guys, and it's still in my library, and I want it out, is this guy. This is Liz Mattis' Huddle Up. This is the 3rd installment to the fantasy football series. Again, audiobook by Christine Padavon. This one actually features a second chance romance with a very minor forced proximity trope. There's a surprise child and graphic language with sexual scenes. Okay, let's just get it right out. I didn't like the audiobook. I still don't like the one's voice, and it was even more annoying in this. But I just sped the audiobook up. So if you speed an audiobook up, everybody's voice sounds like crap. So it was less painful for me, so I could just focus on the story and I can get through it, because this one was hella short. However, despite the audiobook, I really liked this story. I gave this story 3 stars. And the other ones I only gave, I think, 2. This one follows Billy and Angel, who were one-time lovers in high school, and their families did not want them together. The fathers did not think they were good for each other. Angel's father was a gambler, and Billy's father just wanted him in the NFL, so he pushed, and girls were not in the equation. Through mutual outside sources, they finally broke up. Angel broke up with Billy by telling him that she faked it. Ouch. 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 But she gave him one last night before she decided to drop that bomb on him. And that one last night caused her to get pregnant. And instead of going and telling Billy, she had her father do it. Billy goes off to college, gets drafted to the NFL early, and Angel raises her daughter as a single mom. Now, when Angel's daughter turns 5, shortly thereafter, Angel's father passes away, leaving her with a mountain of debt, with the bar that he owns and the pool hall that he owns and all of his gambling debts. So she's left with pretty much nothing. So she resorts to filing for child support from Billy. She's thinking she's just gonna get a check in the mail, and what she gets is Billy storming in saying, "What the fuck is this?" And that's where our story kind of starts off. We have a conversation. She says, "Well, you didn't care back then, so why would you care now?" And he's like, "I didn't know." And she goes on and explains, "So you're calling my dad a liar when he confronted you and told you that, and you called me a whore and a slut." And the look on Billy's face is, "The fuck are you talking about, lady?" He had no fucking idea. And so Angel is now suffering from this, oh my God, moment. Like, what do I fucking do? Billy always loved Angel. He never got over her. So they sit down and talk, and he meets Gabby. And after he meets Gabby, he immediately thinks, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. I'm not going to miss out anymore. So he offers them to move in, and Angel takes it. And while they're playing at family, Billy has it in the back of his head that he's going to make this a permanent thing. And that is where our story really kicks off. What worked? Kids say the darndest things. Gabby was hilarious. I loved her character. She was super cute, super fucking adorable. Loved her. She called it like it is. Called Billy and Angel out a lot, and I thought it was great. I was like, yes, but it wasn't in an overly mature way. It was just kids say the darndest things. They're putting Gabby to bed, and Gabby says, "Okay, mommy, give the little pink elephant or stuffed animal a kiss goodnight." And so she does. "Okay, daddy, you give him a kiss. Okay, give mommy a kiss goodnight," because she's 5. That's what she thinks. That's what she sees. And so it's just cute little things like that. And I really, really appreciated that because it kind of put them on the spot. And kind of brought some of the stuff that they were doing into the forefront, saying like, this is kind of stupid. Like, we should just stop doing this. Another thing that worked in this book was Billy. Billy did what I like men to do in books like this. He demanded answers. He wanted to know, why didn't you tell me? And she said, I had my fault. No, why did you not tell me? Why did you trust your father to come tell? We've already proven that your father didn't tell me shit. Why didn't you do it? And calls her out, essentially. And I liked the fact that that conversation was in there. And then saying, well, then why did you break up with me in the first place? Why did you say that? Why did you break my heart for no fucking reason whatsoever at all? Why? Why'd you do it? He wanted answers. And I like the fact that he wanted the answers. Because he's on this mission to start new, to have this family. So in his mind, get it all out in the open. So it's on the field. We have everything we need to work with so we can successfully make this work. So there's no other hidden secrets. So he kind of manhandled that conversation out of her. Not like in an abusive way, but like in a very stern, dominant way. And I really appreciated that conversation because she kind of did him dirty. Let's just straight up say it. She fucked up and he called her out on it. And I appreciated that a lot. I also like the fact that Billy, even though he had this very dominant presence within her, in her life, trying to get these answers, when it came to standing up for her, he did. He didn't let people talk down to her about being, a single mom or attempting to be called a gold digger or lying about it. He stood up for her. He protected her. So even though he was upset for her hurting him, he still stood up for her. And I really, really appreciated the characteristics that Mattis gave Billy. I really, really enjoyed it because I didn't like Billy in the 2 previous installments. You do meet him. He hits on the 2 heroines in each of the other installments because he's kind of a young douchebag and he's kind of a lady killer because Angel was the only woman for him. And now we know why. But I really like the fact that she gave him this very protective, very assertive, but yet truthful persona. I really, really enjoyed that a lot. What didn't work? The quickness of Angel moving in with Billy. Billy offers them to move in. He literally met Gabby once. And offers them to move in. She hasn't seen him in 5 years, mind you. And she agrees. Just, okay, yeah, we'll do that, until I can find something, closer, and then we can do the joint custody thing because they're currently in different states. It's nothing. I mean, yes, she's losing her home and she's losing her bar because of the mob and she doesn't really have any money, but she immediately just agrees to move in with him. And I'm just like, really? Because I'm pretty sure you could have just said, look, we're not ready. You literally just met her. That's not a really good idea for her. I don't want to give her the wrong idea, but if you want, you can help me find something quickly and maybe we can work something towards it. Just immediately, yeah, we're going to do it. Like, okay. Right. All right. Because the reason I say that this doesn't work is because then later on, she's worried about showing the relationship that she's forming with Billy to her daughter because she doesn't want her daughter getting the wrong idea. What do you think moving a 5-year-old in some random fucking stranger's house is going to tell her versus you kissing him? The what? That didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, no, that needed to work the other way around. I didn't really like that because you can't say that you're protecting her and you don't want to give her the wrong idea when you literally just put her in a position that would give her the wrong fucking idea. Her first night there, she asked Daddy to kiss Mommy goodnight. What? Okay. I don't know, maybe she knew something we didn't. But those were things that bothered me about the book. However, this one did get a 3 chili peppers on the spice rating. We have graphic language, but we do have a very clear consent scene where Billy is trying to be patient. He's trying to earn the trust of Angel again. And he comes out and says that after a really passionate kiss, he says that he's like, do you want this? Because your body is telling me you do, but I need to know that you actually want this, because if you don't, I will walk away right now. I will go to my room and take a cold fucking shower. But I need to know right now, do you want this? Because this is their first time of reconnecting back together, and Gabby is in the house. So it's like, I really liked that scene because you don't really see it that often. I enjoyed that concept right there. And this book learned. I didn't have any cringy, dirty talk in this one. Yes, I had no comparisons to cotton candy. I had no asking me to say your name when I come. Thank fucking God. I had none of that stupid shit. I had a really badass line of when they're going at it and she closes her eyes. He says, no, I want you to see me when you come. Open your eyes. I'm like, fuck yes. Yeah, there you go. Yes. All for that. Cringy talk was gone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed that a lot. So that's why I actually gave this one a 3-star, because one of the things that really irritated me the most about those other books was the cringy verbiage gone. It was fantastic. Just wasn't a big fan of the character of Angel, but I was of Billy, so. I've got one more installment in the series, so I think I'm just gonna finish it up. You know, I'm almost there, so I think I'll continue with it and be done with it. So, yeah. Those are the 2 books I completed, and the one I will be completing tonight is this bad boy, The Gray Bastards by Jonathan French. And this thing, I fucking love this. This is great. This is the first installment to the Lotland series, and we follow Jackal. He is a half-orc, and he is in what they call a hoof. Essentially, this is Sons of Anarchy on hogs. That's what it is. And if you've ever watched Sons of Anarchy, Jax Teller was a hothead. Fucking Jackal, hothead. But I love him. I love him. There are so many twists and turns and backstabbings in this book. I was like, whoa. I thought I knew what was going on. I genuinely thought, I'm like, okay, you are totally following Sons of Anarchy. You have a guy named Jax. Best friend is Opie. You got the head of the MC, Clay, and the head of the hoof is Claymaster. Like, there's so many nods to Sons of Anarchy, but it literally says, right here, delivered with a generous wink to Sons of Anarchy. So it's even in the book that it's supposed to be like that, but it's really just the characters and some of their characteristic traits. But once you really start seeing what's going on in the book, then you're like, oh, the Sons of Anarchy thing is gone now, because this is what Sons of Anarchy probably should have fucking been. Yeah. Like, I love Sons of Anarchy. I was a big fan of the show. Don't get me wrong. But I did kind of think some of the bikers were kind of stupid. They did stupid things. They didn't really use their heads. And they do this in the beginning, and then eventually that goes away, and it starts being really, really fucking cool. We get all these intricate details, and we get some really surprise reveals of stuff. We got some backstabbing going. We've got some intricate play that I didn't fucking see coming at all. I've got stuff coming down the pike that I'm already foreshadowing possibly in the next installments, which are down here. Yeah, this thing is fucking baller. I'm having a great fucking time with this, and I am very, very stoked to see how it ends. I have not finished it yet, but this is a very, very strong 3.5 right now. It could possibly, I don't know if it's going to be a 5. I don't know, but I bet I have 100 pages. So a lot can happen in 100 pages. Anybody who reads series knows a lot can happen in 100 pages. So right now it's like sitting at a 3.5 right now, but I feel like this could be a really strong 4, possibly a 5, depending on what's going to happen down the road. And so far we do have some triggers in this book. We have graphic language, a lot of graphic language. The word cunt is used in this book a lot, so if you're not a fan of that, I just want to pre-warn you. We have some graphic sexual situations. We have allusion to rape, not on page, but it is talked about. It is a practice that has happened, and we see some results of it, but we don't actually physically see on the page as of right now. And we do have some super sexy fun times, which okay, so male author writing a sex scene. I really enjoy this concept, seeing it from the other side. Now, this is not a romance book. I would not consider this a romance, but it's definitely just, it was thrown in there because there was tension between the characters, but I'm hoping later on we're going to get something later with that, because that was super fucking fun. It was kind of like a enemies to lovers hookup, which was bad. It was badass. It was awesome, and it was totally warranted. It wasn't one of those gratuitous sex scenes just thrown in there. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And we also have a lot of graphic violence in this with some magical violence. So a lot of triggers, a lot of fun, high fantasy triggers, but this thing is a great fucking time. And I definitely see the nods to Sons of Anarchy, but it's not so infused in it like the MC book that I recently read. It feels more like a homage to it, like it's inspired by it, but then he decided to take it to the next level and make it his own. So I really do appreciate that a lot, and I'm super excited about finishing it. So yeah. All right, that is what I got for you this week. Not a lot, guys, not a lot, but like I said, I released a crap ton of videos last week, so that was where I spent most of my time, was editing and getting those up. So again, if you want to check those out, they'll be linked down below. It is my monthly wrap up for September, my October TBR. I also have a weekly wrap up in there from the last week of September. I have a new review up for Holier Than Thou by Nick Jameson. And I also have a third quarter wrap up for all my stats lovers out there. And I also have a Witchy book recommendation video that was a collab with a bunch of lovely ladies here on BookTube. And I will link all those down below. They all got released literally like last week. So if you have not got a chance to go check those out, they will be easily found. So I will see you guys all soon with another video. Bye, guys.